Hi, this is Jin Visible from eDiscussion, the discussion forum for Jehovah's Witnesses that's associated with the writings of Robert King, otherwise known as the E-Watchman. And this is a short tutorial on how to build a penny stove, which is a stove made out of junk, 2 tin cans and a penny. And you can cook on it. I know because I've been doing it. Boil water, you could make spaghetti, stew, really anything. And it's very efficient. And if there's an argument as to why you wouldn't use a normal camping gas stove, you can use both, as this doesn't really cost you anything. It can be a backup. And also the resource of denatured alcohol, methylated spirits, those type of fuels might be more readily available at certain times than camping gas cylinders. These I would definitely advise going online and looking at other people, how they've shown to make these, because this is a very basic way. You get your 2 cans and take the advertising off of them, cut the bottoms off to a quarter way down, which you won't need all of that, but that's where you can start from. Actually making them more shallow makes it more efficient and helps the fuel to vaporize, which is one of the problems that people sometimes have. But there's not really much to making them except the dimensions of it and the efficiency, which is why it's worth going online and having a look around at the people who've made them. Once you've got your 2 bases, one of them's going to hold the fuel, that's the cup. I never saw this anywhere on a website, I don't know why, but it's a good idea to knock the concave out of the base so that the fuel gathers in the middle. It'll help the fuel to vaporize. I don't know why no one ever mentioned that when I was looking at the designs for them, but that seemed to be quite an obvious thing to do. And you take the other cup, turn it upside down, which is going to be the top, the gas burner, and you put a few holes in the dimple, which is where the penny's going to, you're going to set the penny on that, and evenly spaced holes around the burner rim. Now, the ones around the rim, the size of them and the frequency are also going to determine the efficiency, which is key to making these, because you want it to be efficient. If it's an emergency stove, you want it to use as least fuel as possible. So you might experiment to see how efficient you can get them. That's another benefit of going online, because other people have made them before. I've got the information. You can also buy them if you're not up to making them. You don't feel up to making them. People will make them for you, and there's no shame in that. People who make them themselves actually go out and buy them to test their efficiencies against the ones that are online, because the people who sell them really use power tools to drill the holes instead of nails and stuff. And when you turn the top over, you crimp the bottom in like that, so that you're going to be able to push that into the base, and you end up with something looking like this. I found that's a bit too deep. You don't really need that depth. It should be more shallow, because a Coke can holds about 330 millilitres of fluid, and you only need about 20 millilitres of fluid to boil a pint of water for about 15 minutes. So you don't really need all that space, and the gas has to fill all that area before it comes out of the holes. So the thing only has to be about an inch or an inch and a half high. But again, if you look at other sites and other people who have made them, you'll be able to determine all that. Now, when I was making them, I got burns on my hands, I cut my hands, I got scalded with hot water. So again, it's not a question of what sort of safety precautions will stop me from getting hurt. It's more a question of having safety precautions that aren't going to end up with some terrible disaster. Test it in the sink if you've got a steel sink, so you can turn the tap on if anything happens. Have cold water around aside from the water that you're trying to boil. Take every necessary precaution, because you're basically dealing with a tin can full of burning fuel, and you don't want to snag that on anything and tip it over. There's going to be no one around to help you but yourself, and no one else to blame. So you want to take the necessary precautions yourself. And again, go online and find out all of what that is and use your common sense. One of the problems people have with them is that if they don't burn, or they don't catch, the fuel doesn't vaporize and nothing happens. And I built this little stand which solves the problem of having to carry a separate stand with the unit, and also prime the penny stove, and that's also made out of junk. So that was a simple tutorial. I hope you check out the other one that will show you how to make the stand for it, which is the design that I made for it. Okay, thank you, and I hope to see you around the discussion board at eWatchman.